Sounds good. Dick, can you hear me okay? We can't hear Dick. Is he muted?
How about now?
Much better.
It depends on who's talking.
Hey, Dick, could you please put your mask on?
I have it on.
I know you do.
That is a mask. Huh?
You should see me without it.
Good. We like a light agenda. Maybe we can catch up on other things. Never happened. We'll never catch up, that's for sure.
So, your mic. Oh, right?
Yeah. Ray's really busy.
Lisa City Council Committee Co-Chair.
Ray Towery, City Manager.
Larry Horton, Health Committee member.
Sean Morgan, Community Services Officer, Oswego Police Department.
Bob Dalton Health Committee.
Jeff Lynn, Police Department.
Okay, thank you,
And
everybody. Oh, Dick, go ahead.
And Dick Knowles.
I'm sorry. If you were here, you could kick me, but.
I would take too much pleasure in that. Sorry.
Thank you. So we have minutes that need to be approved. And there are 3 of them from the 19th of July, the 4th, and the 9th of August. So can we approve all 3 at one time? That would be awesome. We'd entertain a motion to do so.
So move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right, so that brings us to the Homeless Action Committee, and our people are delayed that will be joining us. So let's go around the room and might give updates on what we've been working on while we wait. Okay. So Larry, do you want to kick us off with?
Sure. We had a wonderful visit to Walla Walla, Washington this past week. Got to actually visit the site that we are looking at as a model. And it's actually been running, I guess, since 2017. I hadn't realized that it was going that long. Very successfully running, I might add. Walla Walla, everyone we talked with, from staff to clients that were using the facilities to city employees, they were all extremely pleased with the way the program's going. And it's made a very, very impactful difference in their community for the good. So it was, to me, it was very, very exciting to see a program that is truly addressing the homeless situation in that community. Way too often as we walk or drive around our state on the freeway exits, we're seeing, tent cities that are a mess. This was far from that. It was organized, it was clean. They are helping the clients in their lives. I was just very impressed. I could go on for hours, but I think the rest of you that were there may want to say something as well.
Sean?
Well, I agree. We didn't see, folk, they had a place to be. We didn't see them in the places where they're, with their stuff spread out in the public spaces, and it was impressive. And they're able to coordinate everything, get services to them and connect with them. Didn't hear too much about how many people have moved off. I don't know if anyone else caught that. I'm kind of curious if they have a number. That's something I'd like to find out. But
So they placed 48 people into housing last year. last
48
calendar
into
year.
housing. Okay.
Yeah, in the 1 year period.
That's great.
Yeah, it's obviously really impressive what they've done there. And, you know, I'm not sure. I think we saw one homeless fella on the street, but can't be certain. He stood up and walked away. And I don't know if you saw him when he was walking away. He just looked like a hippie. So they didn't have much stuff with him. So
One of the things that I noticed that was different than what was written in their paperwork was the hours that they're open. The original, the paperwork that I had seen, they basically from, I believe it was 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, everyone was kicked out of the camp. They were told to go, leave the camp, go somewhere else. And I guess since COVID struck, they were allowing them to stay 24/7. They could stay as long as they wanted. They could come and go as they wanted. And apparently that has been so successful that they're actually going to initiate it even once COVID is over. They feel like it's just making a really big difference by having them there during the day. Services are easier to be provided to them. They're not causing issues. So.
in fact, I think Chief and I, we were discussing that today, and I think that's a wise idea.
So Shirley, would you introduce yourself for the,
I'm Shirley Bird. I'm with Family Assistance and Resource Center Group.
thank you, Brock.
I'm Brock Byers, Program Manager for Family Assistance and Resource Center Group.
Thank you. While we were waiting, we were just going around and reporting on activities that we've been doing. So we're going to come back to you guys in just a second. Would you like to report anything? Okay, thank you. Bob Dalton?
Me. Well, the only thing I worked on, I was unable to make the trip because of my wife with her surgery, which went well. I was blessed with that. And beyond that, I was working with Milt Moran with Cascade Timber to see about the idea of possibly putting a project together to level the site and do some grading there. He replied back to me that he thought that was very feasible to put that project together. So that's what I was doing.
That's a very positive thing.
It is. It's great.
I have nothing to add.
Okay. What I noticed, and I don't know if that was reported to you, Chief, was that when they started allowing people to stay on site 24 hours, their police calls went down significantly. And so that was something that they've been able to document. So,
That'd be exciting.
yeah, yeah. And so I think it's an important point not to be forgotten. So, yes.
One little piece with that number that Mr. Tyree mentioned, there's 181 homeless in their count. They probably have more than that, but that's their official number. 48, that's a 25% of that total. So that's a cool number.
That's a good number.
What's the population of Walla Walla? Just curious. We talked that number.
We heard numbers between 40 and 45,000. That's with College Place, which is a little twin city, and then there's an unincorporated area next to it to the east that has a few people in it.
Dick, did you want to report something?
I didn't, but I was going to add that Google shows about 35,000. That's not counting the kids. So I think that's probably right.
Good.
And I guess my point, the reason I was bringing that up was, we can't compare ourselves to Eugene or Portland, what's going on there, because, they're in the hundreds and hundreds with versus thousands of people. So that's the only thing I was making that point is we can't compare ourselves to them, what they're doing.
Yeah, I understand that. I think they have more resources, but I think we're making tremendous headway. We are light years from where we were when we started these discussions. So with that, we will have the Homeless Action Committee. Tell us where you're at.
Well, I think we are at the point that we have seen the slide presentation. We have tweaked it numerous times. We've decided that we would like for this committee to approve moving forward and going to the city council to ask them to actually negotiate with the county for the piece of land known as the Knight Project. I think it's 1550 24th Avenue. So I guess I would open this discussion up for, you know, what else do we need to do for that presentation before we send it on?
So if that was a motion, we could have a second and still open it up for discussion and kill two birds with one stone here.
Right.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Okay, let's open up for discussion then. Is there anything else we need to do?
I guess what I would say is. Yeah. Didn't hear an echo that time. Good. With the slide presentation, I have just written down my own thoughts about each slide, and I will probably kind of ad lib what's on the slide. I would see no reason at all why it would take me more than 10 minutes to get through the slides. The thought would then be to have open questions that Brock would be there to help me answer. I would introduce Brock and myself to the council as we start the discussion. Say the appropriate words to the council. And then at the end of the question period, actually ask them to make a motion to move forward as far as having the city manager start negotiations with county commissioners to access the property in some format. And I don't know what that will look like, but that's what negotiation. So, and hopefully they will do that. There'll be a motion and a second, and they'll vote, and I'm sure they'll ask a million questions too. That'll happen during the question and answer period.
Any
So
other
that's the
discussion?
process, I would say.
Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So go to the council. So, Ray, the council had committed the rest of the marijuana tax money. Is it appropriate at this time to go ahead and say we will need that to establish this, or should we wait another month?
I would say let's wait and see what the county does, because
Okay.
the county may say, because we've already had discussions a little bit about this.
Yeah.
Particularly with them wanting to put in a dump station. They may say, you can, I mean, it may be as simple as they have it, sit down with Brian Carroll, Parks, and work it out. And when you do, then we'll work on some paperwork. And Brian, my experience with Brian is he's about as easy to work with as there is. They may not charge us for it. I don't know. They may say, no, you got to do this. We get it. We don't need the whole 7 acres for our project. So the money is appropriated. It's sitting there for whenever we want to use it. It's, I don't know that we need to ask to have it appropriated.
Okay, because I was concerned about our timeline, trying to get this set up for winter, and yeah.
So the money is there.
Okay.
So once I would say once the council, because we'll have to bring a contract back or a lease or a purchase agreement or whatever
Okay.
it might be. And at that point, I think then the council would approve the dollar figures out of the appropriated funds.
Any questions to that? Okay.
No, the only other money thing that has crossed my computer this week was Joe Grable has been working on, I guess, some workup costs for what it will take to bring water, sewer, and electricity to the site. And I'm not sure he's really ready to say what those costs are at this point in time. But preliminary figures that he was sharing with me that are unofficial, they weren't nearly as high as I thought they would be, which was encouraging. You know, with the money that FAC already has, money that the city has, I think we're in good shape.
Okay,
Move forward on this.
because I'm worried about fencing. I'm worried about, if we don't have pipes in the ground, we're gonna be looking at best pots and that kind of thing. And it's, you know, if we have to move a trailer, that kind of stuff, we need to have a stronger plan. So, and then, the funds to, and the decision as to what you're building, you know, so what that will look like. So, all right, I think that's all we have tonight. Is there anything else? You pulled everybody together. It was important. I think, Larry, if you want to talk with Ray about how to kick this off when in the council meeting, regarding background information that'll help the
Yeah.
council.
So at the council meeting, we had a gentleman who came to speak against the project, but he didn't seem to understand. Yeah, and he didn't understand Martin v. Boise. He didn't understand written legislation, and so I think it would probably be beneficial to start off with that history of Martin v. Boise.
It is one of the slides. It's not the
Yeah.
first one.
Um,
I think it's like the third slide.
Okay.
So basically, the first slide, we're just introducing ourselves.
Sure.
Telling what we're doing.
Right.
And then second slide is not a whole lot more than that, talking about collaboration.
Mhm.
And then this third slide actually talks about why.
Yeah, I think that's going to be vital to stress that we're at a point where we have to do something, or we're just going to see more of what we see now.
It is definitely in the presentation. It's not just at the very beginning of it. It's at the,
Oh, yeah. So,
you know, somewhere in here it says, why do we have to do this?
Yeah.
right.
And there's three basic reasons. One, we have a population of 50 approximately. Two, Martin versus Boise. And number three, it's the right thing to do.
Sure.
Those are the three items that we hit in our slide. So,
And we have a pathway to do something that is appropriate for our community. It's not a tent city. There's no, you know, refuse all over the place, and it's a it's a viable option.
That's another one of the slides. We have three options, really. Let them sleep in the doorways of town, let them sleep on all public property that they want to. Two, a tent city somewhere. And three, an organized, managed facility. And those are the three options, which does the community want.
I think it works. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I hate to tell you this, but we've got a short meeting.
My guess is there will probably be more than just one person that can speak. Yes, that's my
Oh, probably.
gut feeling,
I would agree.
but
That's what we need to really reiterate, you know, what we're facing if we don't do this. Yeah. Shirley, did you have something you wanted to say?
I just wonder which council meeting what day the council meeting would be.
The
on?
24th.
The 24th.
and is it 7 or 6?
6:30.
6:30. Okay.
Occasionally,
7, and I thought, wait a minute, this is,
It used to be at 7. They moved
Okay.
them up to 6:30.
all right, so 6:30.
Yeah, I'll be there early.
Okay, I need to invite the organization to it, 6:30.
do we need to have pictures or anything for people to be able to see on the wall or anything to help them with this facility?
I would suggest a picture. Picture's worth 1,000 words. So I would absolutely have some pictures for people to see and take home with them, or you can print some out and print out the slides and have those available for people to take with them and look at. I would think that would be,
Do you want us to print out the
Right
slide
there.
presentation or is that?
yeah,
It shows you how clean it is.
Yeah, I really like those pictures.
yeah. I think so. I'd like to chat with you a little bit between now and then, just about the slides and how we get those into our format and those kinds of things. So
That'd be great.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's showing what the possibility is. And even the trash cans, I think is a great idea. So. Okay. So there'll be a follow-up conversation regarding setting up and doing the presentation, but beyond that, we have no other business before us. And did anybody else have anything they wanted to share while they were here? Okay. See no other business before us. I call this meeting adjourned. That was probably the
Shortest one yet.